Let's let the bells go by. Yep, it's 12 local time here. So so I've been on vacation. I got here on Wednesday, and I'm leaving tomorrow. So I'm going to be highlighting everything that the things that I think that are really wonderful around the area. Hey, how are you doing? Let me see. Let me move down to the street. I promise to go back to the church behind me. And let me start by turning the camera around to give you a sense of where we are. So this is looking to the north. And then here we've got to the west. You can see some of the ocean in the background there. And here it is to the south. So a few things to highlight with where we are right now. This is the Centro neighborhood. It's the focal point of the city's founding in 1851. The Mexican state of Jalisco on Mexico's west coast is where we're in right now. Puerto Vallarta evolved from a fishing, pearl diving village to a town supporting nearby silver mining to a very popular international tourist destination. The metropolitan area has around 350,000 people in it, but it actually feels a lot bigger, a lot larger than that because there are so many tourists in here at any given time. So you're going to see a lot of activity. It's going to be it's going to be a bustling area as we're going through here. So let me turn back around to talk about what you actually heard the building just a moment ago. It's got a great, let me try to get in the shade so that you don't have as much of a saturated shot here. So here we go. This should be a pretty shot. Let me turn this into portrait mode in case if you want to grab this postcard. So pretty. All right, let me turn this back into landscape mode. So this is Our Lady of Guadalupe Parish. Construction on this building began in 1883. The naming of it occurred in 1921. So that was just 100 years ago. This is done in a Spanish Renaissance Revival style of architecture. If you've been on my other tours, you've heard me talk about Spanish Revival architecture in Chicago. Let me highlight some of those features that it's known for. I'm going to get a little closer. And let me get in the shade over here a bit so that you also don't get the saturated views. All right. So taking a look up, some of the characteristics that Spanish Renaissance Revival is known for are having these towers that you have on the corner. So you can see those on those cupola that you have on each corner of the church surrounding us, along with a central tower in the middle. It often incorporates some of these European principles in the architectural design, like this arch in the middle with the bracket going down the middle of it. Let me zoom in a little bit to highlight this stained glass. Let me see if I can zoom in one more time. There we go. So again, the namesake for this church is Our Lady of Guadalupe Parish. Guadalupe is the manifestation of the Virgin Mary commonly found throughout Latin America. So that's the namesake for this parish. What I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom back out, and we're going to step inside the church. I'm not going to be talking while we're inside there because they have services right now. So I'm going to highlight some of the beautiful designs in there when we're in there, but I'm not going to be talking out of respect to the services that are happening. So I'm going to be quiet for a moment. Señor Dios, innumerable providencia, dispusiste que el reino de Cristo se extendiera por todo el mundo, que todos fueran hechos partícipes de la redención salvadora. Concede a tu iglesia el sacramento universal de salvación, que todos desean anunciar tu reino como el salvador de los pueblos y la esperanza de las naciones. El que reina contigo en unidad del Espíritu Santo con Dios por los siglos de los siglos. Amén. Oh, wasn't that beautiful in there? All right, I got the sun here. So here is a another cupola that we have up here. It has a golden top to it. We're actually going to see this cupola again at the very, very end of the tour because we're going to be concluding the tour on the rooftop of the place where I'm staying. And the rooftop view there from the pool scene is incredible. And we're going to be able to get a great view of the city everywhere that we walked. So you're going to see the top of that golden cupola in just a little bit. Taking a look back here, we got another look back at that central tower along with the towers that you have on the corners. And then I want to move down here to highlight another architectural feature. If you've been on my other tours, you know that I love to talk about it. So you can see that we've got a little bit of a dragon here. I love incorporating dragons whenever I can in architecture and design. Yeah, cats and dragons, those are two of my things. So here we got one of those dragons. And let me step back here and take another view up. Oops, gimbal is getting stuck a little bit. Yeah, the flags that you have here, they're very colorful. They change out seasonally, so it depends on where you are. But the flags on the text here, they're here referencing Our Lady of Guadalupe here, so it's referencing that. You're going to see a lot of colorful flags all around here. The ones closest to here are referencing the church. They also change out seasonally, so if you're here in October, then they'll be referencing Dia de los Muertos or Day of the Dead. What I'm going to do now is head down these steps here. So we're going to go back to where we started the tour. I've got another view of the church I want to highlight, but I need to do it a little bit further away so I can show that beautiful crown that we saw on top of that central tower. But I just want to check back in to see if any of you have any questions that I haven't answered yet. And I can try to do the best that I can to answer those on my way to the next stop. I forgot to mention, if I sound a little hoarse, it's because I am. it's I'm here with. There's a group of 8 of us who are here that are traveling together, including my boyfriend Ryan. And so we've been having a lot of fun, a lot of partying. So my voice is a little hoarse. So if you're wondering if that's like if it's the connection, no, it's just my voice. Let me check to see if there are any other questions that I missed. We'll cross here in just a moment. All right. I'm going to step over here in the shade so that we can get good postcards and you don't have the sun saturating the picture. Let's see if I can get it right. Here we go. We got another great shot looking back at the church. Now you can really see that the central tower along with that terracotta capital that we have up there. So here's one shot. Let me turn this into postcard or portrait mode. If you want to grab this postcard, I'm going to turn it back to landscape. I'm going to zoom in once more because I want to give some more details on the terracotta capital that we have up there. So that crown that you have at the very top is designed by Carlos Torres, and it was completed just in 2009. So this construction project for this church, it's been about 150 years in the making. So it's terracotta, which is that baked clay that is hardened as sort of like fireproofing. And then you have a steel structure underneath it. If you've been on that's kind of like the Chicago commercial style. If you've been on that tour of mine where you have a steel frame, terracotta sheathing for those 19th century skyscrapers, it's the same approach that was made for this crown. Let me try to zoom in a little bit more. Maybe you'll be able to see these details. Oh, there, now we can see it a little more. So there's a total of 8 angels supporting that crown. And it's provides symbolic meaning to the culture due to all of the ornament up there. So it's a really beautiful space. So Marcia, I don't think it's officially a cathedral because all the language that I've seen, it all refers to it as either the church or the parish. So I don't think it has cathedral status. Okay, so let's move around here to show you this plaza that we're in. Yeah, it does look like lace. It's a very elegant, airy, light positioning. It looks quite elegant for the capital. The name of the church, again, is Our Lady of Guadalupe Parish. So this plaza that we're in right now, it's called Plaza de Armas. It's a town square, so they use it for a lot of civic events, a lot of cultural events. So lots of activity that you have here. You can see that you've got more of these colorful banners here, but the ones here, they're not. They're more secular in nature. They're not really as much tied to the church. I'm going to get another view of the gazebo in just a bit, but I want to go over here to show some wonderful public art. All right. I love this stained glass. So this is, we're in Vallarta Plaza, and this stained glass is designed by Manuel Lepe Macedo. We're going to see a lot from this artist along the way for this tour. I think that he, more than any other artist in Puerto Vallarta, is really associated with the spirit of the design of the city that we have here. So let me zoom in a little bit further so that you can see some of these details. He's a Mexican artist known for painting, and it's called the naive style. That's what its official name is. I don't really like that term, but I haven't seen another better term for those just in the description. But the naive style is known for these flattened, sort of like simplistic expressions of perspective, and it's known for having a lot of like wonderful sort of like childlike expressions in the art. And this is just like it's. I think it's just joyous, and it's just really capturing a lot of the tone of Puerto Vallarta. You can see all these kids dancing around, very happy. You can see some of the plant life, some of the food. You might see watermelons going through there. But it's just a wonderful style of art. And we're going to see more from Macedo as we continue along. Let me zoom back out. Yes, all the birds that you hear, those are real birds. Yeah, I'll talk more about some of the local wildlife as we continue along on the tour. Oh yeah, Victoria. Sorry, I'm not able to go back to that. I've got a tight time frame to be able to showcase everything on the tour. So we got another shot here, and I love this because it's capturing that you've got the church in the background, the gazebo and the plaza in the front, and you can see the sculpture here on the left. The sculpture is of Ignacio Vallarta. He's a judge and governor of the state of Jalisco. That's the state that we're in, that Puerto Vallarta's in. After Mexico declared independence from Spain in 1821, the people who ruled for the next 100 years were still. It's fun when you see all the birds coming up at the time. So the people who ruled for the next 100 years were still typically people installed by Spain. After the Mexican Revolution that took place from 1910 to 1920, Mexico was finally ruled by its own people. Let me get in this shot. I'll try to give you. I'm trying to get a shot here of the sculpture if you want to see this a little bit closer. Um, when Puerto Vallarta was founded in 1951, it was first known as Las Peñas, also known as the Rocks. When the revolution came through, the name change happened in 1918 to better reflect the Mexicans ruling over Mexico. We're going to head more towards the waterfront now. So we're heading west, and we're going to head down here and go to the crosswalk. Such a beautiful day today. Isn't this gorgeous? So these rocking horses here, they have rotating installments here to add different types of engagement and different fun activities here. So these are some rocking horses. They weren't here when I was last in Puerto Vallarta about a year and a half ago. I'm going to move over here to show one of the signature pieces of public art that we've got here. So MK, to answer your question, like what is it that attracted me here? One of the reasons that I came here is, well, I mean, first it's beautiful, it's culturally rich. It's also probably it is the LGBTQ capital of Mexico. That it's a very gay friendly place, and that's where with me and my friends, that's where we wanted to go. So it's just a lot of fun here, especially if you're LGBTQ. I'll talk more about that in a bit. Let's see. I want to step back so that you can get all of this in one postcard here. Let's see. Here we go. Pretty great shot, isn't it? Picture perfect day. So you got that the Puerto Vallarta signage that we have there in the middle of it. On some of the on the text, you can see more from the artist that I was talking about earlier with uh, with Manuel Lepe Macedo. You can see that some of his signature artwork over the text, and then you've got this seahorse in the middle of it. The seahorse is designed by Rafael Zamparilla. It was completed in 1976. This is it's a replica of one that was swept away in a storm earlier, so they had to re-add a new one. Yep, Satyam, that is a boy on the seahorse. Let me zoom in on that in case you want to grab a postcard. But yeah, this is kind of like the seahorse is sort of the signature creature of Puerto Vallarta. You're going to see a lot of seahorses everywhere you go throughout the city. I'm going to zoom back out. We're going to head to the amphitheater area in this plaza. As we stroll through, let me take this way. You'll notice that we've got some different types of stone shapes and engravings into the ground here. Let me get back. So the depictions that you see here, there are these stone mosaics that you have there going through the plaza here. They're inspired by the Huixarrica. They're the indigenous people who first settled into the area, and these mosaics represent symbols revered by them. So you're going to see things like plants and animals and deities. So here we've got this is maybe like a whale or a shark. It would make sense that it would be a whale. I've seen a lot of whales out in the ocean out here. I don't see any right now, but if I do spot any, I'll make sure to get the camera on them. Let's head over to this amphitheater. Let's see. Trying to avoid getting trampled by a horse. All right. So we've got an amphitheater area here that are used for a lot of public performances with song and dance and other types of civic activities that we have around here. And then these arches here, they're called Los Arcos, which means the arches. This monument was installed in 1970 when U.S. President Richard Nixon visited that year. Actually, hold on a second. Let me adjust my camera. My gimbal looks a little lopsided. There we go. So when Richard Nixon came here in 1970, they added these arches here as sort of a monument commemorating his visit. It allowed Puerto Vallarta to showcase recent infrastructure investments and helped to usher in a new era for this now very popular tourist attraction. So it was really starting in 1970. That's when this started becoming a huge tourist destination. These arches here are referential to a natural landmark at the that we're going to see at the very, very end of the tour. So keep that in mind. We're going to continue down here. So the city across the water, that's still Puerto Vallarta. The area that you see on the coming out there, that's the more expensive area. So whenever you have like celebrities, famous people, a lot of them stay out down there. I've had friends stay down there, and they say it's nice, but they're probably not going to stay out there again because you're removed from all the activity that's happening down here. All right, let's take a look at some public art. So we got some dolphins here. The dolphins that we have here, they are. Where is the? Here it is. It's Escultura Monumento Delfin. It's designed by James Bottoms, completed in 1987. They were donated to Puerto Vallarta by the American city Santa Barbara. So they're part of a Sister Cities program. I'm not sure if any of you all are familiar with Sister Cities. It's international. So the city that you're living in, it may be a sister city with Puerto Vallarta also. Lynn, I'm not sure how far away Acapulco is, but I'm sure if you do just a quick Google map search with entering in Puerto Vallarta to Acapulco, you'll be able to highlight that. So the area that we're going to be walking up now, this is called Malecon. It means boardwalk. And I think we're going to see a lot of restaurants, attractions, performers, public art. I saw a question come through about why these palm trees are painted white. So so taking a look at it's painted white predominantly for two reasons. One, it helps protect the trees from insects. So as insects are going up there, they're more visible, so birds are able to eat them. So it helps to protect them. And then the other thing, it helps to make the base of the tree a lot more reflective, so that it doesn't dry out from the sun. So you have the moisture from the ground going up in the tree to help it thrive more. So it's two reasons: insects and protecting the moisture. If you take a look at this, you probably recognize this artist here. We got more Manuel Lepe. These tiles were completed in 1981. So I mean, all of his pictures, they're just so joyous and so happy. I mean, it's just a wonderful, just signature style of art to really sort of brand Puerto Vallarta, and the city has really leaned into that. Continuing along here, I've got one of my favorite sculptures to highlight now. I'll be rotating around this to give you different perspectives of it, but the sculpture here is called Bailarines de Vallarta, or the Vallarta Dancers. It's designed by Jim Demetro, completed in 2006. These are Zuitla dancers. It's a popular style of dance in Mexican folk culture. I've actually seen them dancing a bit around here, so it's just a really beautiful performance. Just look at the detail that goes into this flowing skirt with the color. It just really captures a lot of energy, and it's so kinetic. It's just a beautiful piece of sculpture. So I'm going to continue down the boardwalk in a moment. I just wanted to highlight some street art. So you've got it's done in three arches. We have street art in three panels. It's kind of like taken away when you've got the vertical bisection. So let me just focus on this one here. So this one is, you can go wherever you want. So this one was added since I was here last time a year and a half ago. Let me get a little bit closer to it, and you'll be able to see the name of it. It's hidden in the design. So it's Te regalo este momento, vive como loco. That translated into English, that means I give you this moment, live like crazy. They also have other Easter eggs, and I think that these are the names of the different street artists hidden in there. So we've got Nani, Amelo, and we got more here. And I think we've got another one here. So I think it's just like a beautiful piece of art. I love as you get closer, you get to see this hidden text that's hidden in the design, the script. So it's a really fun piece of public art. Let's head down here. We're going to continue along the boardwalk. So these two sculptures in front of me, when I first saw them, I thought that they were like they're underwater mines, like the explosive devices. And I'm like, well, that's a curious piece of public art, but they're actually sea urchins, which is much more, I think that's a happier type of public art. So these are sort of abstract modern, or these are more modernist versions of sea urchins that we have here. It's really nice to see the crashing waves behind them too. Let's continue along. can see you've got a lot of these restaurants and vendors along here. I'll highlight a few of the restaurants that I've been visiting along the way on this as we get further down. Just want to check to see if there are any questions before I continue along. Wow, you see those waves go up? No, they are not COVID sculptures. Yeah, I will be talking a lot more about the LGBTQ connections to the to Puerto Vallarta. We're going to be in a different neighborhood. The neighborhood, it's going to be a neighborhood a little bit further south of where we are now. The neighborhood's called Zona Romantica. The temperature here right now is 83 degrees Fahrenheit or 28 degrees Celsius. It's just gorgeous. Meaning we will see some beaches later. There aren't as many most popular beaches here in the Centro neighborhood that we're in right now, but we will see some of those. But a lot of them are just located along the shore. You can see those mountains in the distance. It's lined with all these different beaches along the way. So this bridge that we're going the reason why the city's here. You have a river connection meeting up with the bay here. As we go over the river, you're going to see that it's not like a large, robust river anymore because of all the development in the area. But the river splits in this area with an island in the middle. So if you can hold on, I'm going to try to get in position there. I want to get in a spot where you can see the island and all right. So here is the Rio Qual. So you can see it. Choppy connection. You know what? Let me keep on moving. Let me keep on moving so I can try to get a better connection. Hold on a moment. Let me try to move to a spot where there's a better connection. All right, is the connection getting better right now? I'm getting more bars right now. All right, good. So let me talk about so this is, you can see the river, this is where it splits, and you've got the La Isla de Rio Qual in the middle. The island is really cool. You've got a mixture of restaurants. You've got so let me upload a few things there. I've taken a bunch of photos. So I'm going to continue along, try to get a better signal. But I just uploaded 2 photos. So restaurants on the island in the middle that I visited. What day was that? Thursday I was there, and that meal that I had there, it's a good combination platter of really delicious Mexican cuisine. If you one of the things that I love so much are combination platters. So anytime I have a chance to see order a combination platter, I do so. I apologize if the wind is making it really difficult. There's really nothing that I can do about the wind. I've got a dead cat muting the noise, and that's what so I'm doing the best I can. So hopefully we'll get a better connection coming up. If you take a look at this sign, you can see that there's a sea turtle nesting area. They are protected animals, so they're endangered. And I was actually, not this time, but last time I was in Puerto Vallarta, they had, I was at dinner and they had some sea turtles that were laying eggs, and they had the National Guard around them protecting them. So it was pretty wild to have those armed National Guards with their guns, making sure that no one was stealing those sea turtle eggs. So now we can see some of the beaches here. We're going to see a lot of the restaurants and bars with seating on the beaches directly. I'm going to highlight a few more things that, as we're walking, some more pictures, if you want to see what else is on the La Isla de Rio Qual. So let me... So I just added 3 more photos. So the one of the photos is just a shot of all kinds of shops there. The second picture is a cultural center that they use for is showing that it has a lot of wonderful public art there. So lots to definitely check out and see. If you want to hold on a moment, I'm going to go. I'm going to disconnect from my cellular service and reconnect. So that might help with what we have here. So bear with me. I promise to get back. I'm going to disconnect and rejoin. All right. So a little bit better. I'm doing the best I can. It's a little tricky with its spotty service. So, so you can see those 3 pictures were on Isla de Rio Qual. Now I've got a few more pictures on that island I wanted to share. So I got 4 more pictures that I'm uploading. And this is capturing things I love about that island. There are so many cats just lounging about on that island. It's just really fun. The right up in front of us in just a moment. It's very colorful. So you can see some of the tile work here on the side. We're going to see a lot of gorgeous tile work. Sorry that you're having a bad connection. I'm doing everything I can. I've shut down to refresh. I'll keep on moving and hopefully it'll connect to a better spot later. All right. So right now I'm standing on top of an amphitheater, also used for public events. There was a dance that was happening here Saturday night that I could see from my bedroom. So if you see this building right here in the middle, that's where I'm staying. That's Pier 57. We'll be ending the tour on top of that at the very end of the tour. So this plaza that we're in right now, it's called Lazaro Cardenas Park. You've got this wonderful amphitheater here that we're in, and it was designed by. So the park has been here since the 1970s, and then it was beautified in honor of the 100th anniversary of Puerto Vallarta in the 2010s by Natasha Moraga. So all of this tile work was added around here to really beautify it, because it was just sort of like a it didn't have as much color, it didn't pop as much, and they added additional public art. So let's take a look at some of those features here. This is this sculpture that we have here is by the where is the name of the sculpture? It's here. It is. It's Andale Bernardo sculpture. It was designed by Jim Demetro in 2014, and it, quote, honors all the workers, boroughs, residents, and visitors who make Puerto Vallarta such a wonderful place. I think it's just a really fun piece of public art. I love whimsy in public art, and I think that when I see this, it just makes me smile. Let's head over here to take a look at this gazebo that we have in the middle here. So this is celebrating Enrique Corrados Barreto. He was a hotel developer, and he helped to make this area a really wonderful tourist attraction. So he really helped to put Puerto Vallarta on the international spotlight. So that's why we have this sculpture here honoring him. We're going to move around this gazebo. It's a little packed in there. There's another tour guide going through there. Hello. When you take a look at this tile work, it's not all just done by Natasha Moraga. It's actually a community effort. So let's take a look up here to see some of that. She trained a lot of the people in the community to paint and create their own tiles that are integrated into it. So it's a really collective experience that brought everyone together. And I think it's just a wonderful plaza that's so lively and fun. Let's go up to the sculpture. If you can hear some jackhammering, it's with this new construction here. I'm guessing that these are going to be brand new luxury rentals added. It's very common to have that in this area. I kind of like this shot with the new construction that we have there with this sculpture in the foreground. This is Lázaro Cárdenas. He was a general during the Mexican Revolution, and he was the former Mexican president from 1934 to 1940. And he is the namesake for the plaza that we're in right now. Luann, I can hear some. I mean, there's a bunch of construction happening around here, not just in with this building. There's several buildings and road construction, so I can hear it a little bit from my place, but it's not disruptive. And I usually sleep with earplugs in. Actually, why don't I get another shot? I think that this one will be cool. Get one of the former president along with the plaza that he's standing in front of. Michael, that's a good question. I don't know how the oil industry has been handled throughout Mexico's history. It looks like I'm getting a lot more bars right now. So hopefully you've got better sound, better picture. So thank you for your patience when it was getting a little rough along the waterfront. But glad to have you back connected in this. Bruce, I'm not certain where Juan Diego lived. I haven't seen a reference to him. So my guess would be that he did not live here, because I feel like I would have seen more depictions of him throughout Puerto Vallarta if he did live here. Tina, the name of the plaza is Parque de Azuelejos, also known as Tile Park, and it's honoring Lázaro Cárdenas, that former Mexican general who became who is also a former president. And then you've also got beautiful tile work like this. Let's stand in front of this for a moment so you can grab this postcard. Isn't this gorgeous? All the detail that goes into this. Let me get a little bit closer so that you can see that it has this reflection. So pretty. Let me move around here. So this restaurant right here, the Blue Shrimp, I ate here yesterday and it was magnificent. So I'm going to upload 2 images. All right, so those pictures are hopefully coming through. This is from when my boyfriend Ryan and I we ate here yesterday. Actually, it's really windy down there, so I'm going to avoid that so that avoid the noise. But we ate at that restaurant yesterday, and it's a nicer restaurant. It focuses on seafood, and it's delicious. So we end up getting combination platter because you know that I love combination platters. But it was a seafood one, so it was done in two different courses. That first one, it's the picture that just has Ryan in it. That one had some fish ceviche, some calamari, and it was wonderful. And then the other one was it focuses on four different types of shrimp. Including everything that we ordered and with the food and the drinks, I think that the total ended up being around 4,000 pesos, which I think is around $220 US. Oh, Tino, we couldn't finish it. We actually brought home leftovers. So the neighborhood that we're in right now, this is Zona Romantica. This is the neighborhood that I'm staying in, and this is that primary area that you have for the LGBTQ population that we have here. So there are a lot of stores, bars, restaurants that are really nightlife that are really catering to LGBTQ people here. Oh well, yeah, Neil, that place was very expensive, and that is the most expensive meal that I've had out here. But I'll highlight a few other restaurants that are much less expensive. So that was like our one restaurant that we're going to where we're really treating each other, treating ourselves. I mean, Spanish is the native language, and it depends on who you interact with on how to what degree they know English. But I haven't had any issue of ordering at any restaurants and bars by knowing only a limited amount of Spanish. They've been very accommodating for tourists coming in from excuse me, United States and Canada. So so a few other restaurants. This one here, Cafe San Angel. This one is I mean I ate here today. This is when I ate right before I met up with you. I had my huevos rancheros. Oh, here's a couple of my buddies. If you see them waving in the middle, those are two of my roommates, Josh and Jim. so so yeah, they're staying with me. So this is one of those wonderful restaurants. I mean, the breakfast potatoes here are some of my favorite that I've ever had. They're so creamy, they're so buttery, delicious, so good. And then this taco stand I ate here last night, and it's so cheap, and the tacos here are so good. Yeah, that one place I went to was an expensive restaurant. These two that I just highlighted are not, and they're also wonderful. We're heading down here to probably one of the most iconic landmarks of Puerto Vallarta. And you can see it in the middle there. MK, I actually haven't spent much time in Provincetown, but I think that both of them are fun. I think personally I would enjoy this more because I just enjoy Mexico or Puerto Vallarta more. It has better weather, better food, so I just like enjoy the energy here. So in fairness, I need to spend more time in Puerto Vallarta, but or more time in Provincetown, but I love Puerto Vallarta. So it's getting a little windy again. Sorry if it's getting a little rough to hear me, but it has to be windy in order for me to go out on this landmark. All right. So what we're walking on right now is called Muelle de Playa Los Muertos. It's designed by Jose de Jesus Torres Vega, completed in 2013. It's so you have this twisting sail-like form, so it's trying to look like a sail that you'd see in a ship, but it's used as a pier where you have a lot of the dinghies anchoring, and we'll see it front of us, they'll be coming up here and they'll take you to the larger ships. And there are a few cruises. Okay, let's watch these pelicans. So let's watch this and see if it does a dive. There we go. Did you see that pelican diving down to fish? I love watching these pelicans. They're so fun. All right, here's another pelican going by. Let's see if we can catch that dive bombing. Oh, it's a little far away now. If I see more pelicans, I'll try to get down. You can see this one just like hovering in the air right there. But it's right down here. This is where, if you're looking to go on a cruise, this is where you board. And I've been on a couple cruises, and it's so much fun. Look at this bird, just like it's basically not treading water, like treading air. But taking another look up, we got the sail up above us. Let me move around to this side so you can see part of the. There we go. You can see part of that sail form up above us, and then you can see that's where we're coming from. And you can see that the beachfront continues up here with more restaurants and bars and more hotels. So if you see this restaurant that's located right in the middle, it's a very large one called Las Palapa. Let me post some images of that because we were there just last night. So if you see those pictures, first that group of 8, that was us last night. We had a sunset photo. So that was us sitting right on the beach at the restaurant there. It was wonderful. I got more shrimp because I love eating seafood out here. Let me head down. Let me see if I can find another. So we've got a pelican up there that's just sort of like hovering. It doesn't seem to be making its hunting approach. I don't see any other pelicans that I can try to catch them dive bombing. Let me see. There's a pelican that we have right there in the middle of the water. So maybe that'll come down. Yeah, I don't see any other pelicans that we're going to be able to capture on this tour. But yeah, so that the photos, so that was the group of us, the 8 of us from Chicago that were here, and then the other one was just at the sunset. Now you might see some of us holding up our fingers because one of my buddies, he bought, let me show you these. He got these little rats that we can put on our fingers here. So it's for 8 of us. So we were carrying this around. We would go to like bars and restaurants, and we're just like playing with them. And my buddy got them because one of the tours that I have is my Underground Chicago Plus Rats tour. So he thought it'd be fun if the 8 of us had these little toy rats that we've been bringing along with us. And so if you see in one of those pictures with us holding up those rats on our fingers, that's what that was about. We're going to work our way up here, and I'm going to be going up this hill, and we're going to actually be going on the rooftop of this building right here. It's an amazing rooftop pool scene, and you're going to get incredible views of the surrounding area. So definitely stay tuned for that. So I'm working my way back over there. So Neil, we're spread out across a few different places. My 2 friends that you saw that were eating, Josh and Jim, they're staying with Ryan and me. So the 4 of us are in one place, and then the other 4 are staying in different places. And we also know a ton of other people here. When I'm with all the gay people who are visiting here, they're like an overwhelming majority of them that I've met are either from Chicago or Toronto. So it's really crazy how many people from Chicago we've seen out here that we know. Here are my little rat buddies. Jimmy is the one on the left, in the blue, who was the one who picked out the little rats. You can see Josh is here with his little rats. Jimmy doesn't have his with him. All right, I'll see you around later. All right, so this is probably the most treacherous part of the tour for me, going up these stairs here. But you can see that they're done in a rainbow format, really highlighting how this is the gay district, the Zona Romantica neighborhood. Also got some more public arts here, where you can see a woman with in makeup here, celebrating Dia de los Muertos. And then we're going to see another one of Frida Kahlo in just a second. Got more public art right here. So pretty. What a beautiful day. Don't you all want to visit? I know I don't want to leave, and I'm leaving tomorrow. All right, so this is the place where I'm staying. It's called Pier 57. It's a vacation rental completed in 2014. Hola. Muy bien. ¿Y tú? So I may lose the signal a bit, but we'll reconnect once we're on the rooftop. But take a look up here. It's an open air court. I think it'd be cool to see the rain coming down here, but I also don't want it to rain while I'm on vacation. Yeah, it's really nice. So I think that let's see. So the room that I'm staying in, and we've got four of us staying in there. I think it's like $250 American a night for the room that we're in. We're also at peak season right now. So if you come here during the summertime, it'll be a lot cheaper because it's a lot. It's really hot around here. The name of the place that we're at is called Pier 57. Yeah, the rain does drop into the lobby on rainy days. All right, got our elevator, and we're heading to the rooftop. May lose the signal right now, but I'll reconnect in just a moment. Yeah, charges to Jimmy. Hola. All right, so we're getting almost to the rooftop, and I got a couple things to highlight. It's beautiful. Let's see how I can get over here. All right, something to highlight. If you look in the distance, you can see those. If you can see those three stones in the rocks in the distance, those are called Los Arcos. I'm going to step back a little bit. So Los Arcos, those are the. I see some of my friends there. Those arcos, those are those large rock formations naturally occurring. If you remember those monuments that were introduced in 1970 that I showed more toward the beginning of the tour, that were commemorating President Nixon's visit, it's referencing those three rock formations that you can see in the distance. Right here. I'm going to upload a picture. So that picture that I just uploaded is showing one of those stone formations, and I took this when I was on a cruise. So the water has eroded the area. Hey, there's my buddy Coleman. uh, we got more of my buddies over here. That's my boyfriend Ryan. And we got a couple of my other buddies. We got Jay and Rob up here. Hello, Voyagers. Hi. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stand up here, give you a little bit of perspective of everything that you see around here. So you can see we've had this mountainous region all around in the distance, and then take a look at all of this built up. This is the Zona Romantica neighborhood that we've just been in most recently, looking out to the water and into the bay itself. Let's track a little bit about the path that we were taking. So if you take a look down, let me zoom in a little bit. If you can see that plaza right there, that's that beautiful tile plaza that we were in earlier. And then taking a look down here, you can see where you have that golden dome. That is the parish of St. Guadalupe. So we've got that in the distance. That's where we started the tour. Another thing to highlight, and I didn't really talk about this because we couldn't really get a good shot of it, where if you look at this area in front of us, that it's right against the mountains, and that's basically on one side of the next to the Rio Qual, and that area is called Gringo Gulch. Now, gringo is typically a derogatory term applied to Americans. The roots of that term, they're a little unclear. Some say it dates back to the 1840s during the Mexican-American War, when they were saying green go to the American soldiers because they're all wearing green. So that might be the origin of the term Gringo Gulch. I don't know if any of y'all have seen the 1964 movie The Night of the Iguana. It was filmed here in Puerto Vallarta. It's a John Huston movie starring Richard Burton. Now, Richard Burton, he arranged to have Liz Taylor live directly across the street from him. And let me upload some photos of this. So, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so first, one of the photos has a staircase. So that's the staircase that I took from La Isla de Rio Qual that goes up to Gringo Gulch. And then there's I think the third picture is looking over the Rio Qual, where that's looking toward the ocean. And so you can see part of that where you've got the La Isla to the left and you've got Gringo Gulch to the right. And then that picture where you see that white building, that is known as Casa Kimberly. That was Liz Taylor's home when Richard Burton was filming Night of the Iguana. So it's located basically right here. I'm pointing it out. It's tough to see. It's like right there. So that bridge that you can see in that picture was added so that the two could have their scandalous affair without the media, with the photographers down below interfering with it. So that's why you have a really wonderful thing to check out. I'm going to turn this back over here. So thank you all so much for joining me on this tour. I hope that you've received this great overview of Puerto Vallarta, seen some of my favorite things here, and I hope that you're encouraged to visit and explore it more when you're here next. So a few things to wrap up with, and then I'll turn it back to answer your questions. Let's see, what have we got? Please follow me on Hago if you don't already. I've got a ton more tours planned for you all. The next tour that I've got is next week. I've got we're going to be visiting the International Museum of Surgical Science, and there's a brand new exhibition there that uses these stuffed animals to really highlight the underlying biology and the neurological systems there. It's pretty cool. So I hope, and the museum itself is it's one of a kind. So I hope that you can join for that tour next week. If you enjoyed this tour, you can go to my website, tourswithmike.com.